Men start missing you more when this happens. Have you ever wondered why, after a breakup or some time apart, a man suddenly starts missing you more than ever? It's like something shifts and all of a sudden, those memories, feelings, and moments you shared become even more powerful in his mind. It's not about the usual advice you hear, cutting off contact or playing hard to get or trying to make him jealous. No, this is about something much deeper. What is it that triggers those feelings of longing, making him miss you more than ever? There's a subtle but powerful emotional shift that happens when you tap into this. It's the kind of connection that goes beyond the physical or everyday interactions. So, what is it that makes him start missing you more intensely than before? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer understanding of the real emotional triggers at play. Some people think that to make a man miss them, they need to cut off all contact or make him jealous by creating distance or showing interest in someone else. While these tactics might seem effective in the short term, they often backfire in the long run. Trying to manipulate someone's feelings through absence or by making them feel insecure doesn't lead to the deep emotional longing that keeps someone thinking about you for the right reasons. It's also common to believe that emotional detachment will make him miss you more, that by being cold or unavailable, you could create a sense of mystery or desire. But true emotional impact is much more subtle than that. Men don't miss someone because they feel ignored or manipulated. They miss someone because of the emotional connection they shared, the way you made them feel understood, valued, and supported. When a man realizes that he's missing that kind of connection, it creates a much deeper longing than any game playing could ever achieve. The real secret to making a man miss you isn't in pulling away. It's in giving him something emotionally fulfilling that he can't find elsewhere. The key lies in creating moments and connections that resonate with him on a deeper level. So, what's the one thing that makes him start missing you more? Let's dive into that next. Men miss someone more when they feel emotionally connected and understood. It's not just about the time you spend together or the fun moments you share. It's the deeper, more intimate exchanges that make a lasting impact. When a man reflects on the moments where he felt comforted, respected, and genuinely cared for, that's when the longing begins. He starts to realize that those moments were more than just fleeting experiences. They were emotional anchors that made him feel seen and valued. This is what sticks with him when you're not around. Think about it like this. Everyone craves understanding, but for men, it's often harder to come by. Society doesn't always encourage men to express vulnerability, so when they find someone who makes them feel safe to do so, it leaves a profound mark. When he looks back at your relationship and remembers how you made him feel, that's when the feelings of missing you start to grow. It's in those moments of genuine connection, where he felt heard and supported, that he starts to long for your presence. But here's the key. Creating emotional space can make him reflect on those moments even more, and that's when the feelings start to deepen. You don't have to pull away or create artificial distance. Sometimes, just giving him the room to miss you naturally allows the connection to intensify. When you're not constantly in a space, he has time to reflect on what you brought into his life. Those comforting conversations, the respect you showed him, the support you offered. This space helps him realize just how much he values what you gave, and that's when the missing turns into longing. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about allowing him to feel the absence of the emotional connection you shared. When you're always available, it's easy for the emotional impact to get diluted over time. But when you give him the space to miss that connection, it starts to grow stronger in his mind. It's not that he's missing the physical presence or just your company. He's missing how you made him feel when you were there. That emotional pull becomes something he craves. Have you ever noticed how he starts to miss you after a meaningful conversation or shared experience? That's not a coincidence. Those are the moments that stick with him the most, even if he doesn't express it immediately. When you give him time to think about those moments, he'll begin to associate you with the feelings of comfort, support, and respect that he can't find elsewhere. And that's when the real magic happens. He starts missing you not just for who you are, but for how you made him feel. So the key is to create that space while maintaining a deep emotional connection. Let him come to the realization on his own, and he'll start missing you more than ever. It's not about creating distance for the sake of it. but rather allowing him to reflect on what your relationship truly means to him. Keep this idea in mind, and you'll notice how his feelings of longing grow stronger over time. So, what is it? Men start missing you more when they experience emotional withdrawal, when they realize that the depth of what you've brought into their lives is no longer there, and they crave it again. This isn't about games or manipulation. It's about understanding the emotional impact you have on him. When a man feels a deep connection, filled with trust, respect, and comfort, and that connection is no longer readily available, it triggers a sense of longing. The key trigger for missing you is when he experiences the absence of the emotional fulfillment you provided. It's in those quiet moments when he's alone, maybe reflecting on how you made him feel heard, understood, and supported. The realization that this connection is gone, even if temporarily, hits him harder than any physical absence could. He begins to recognize that it's not just your presence he misses, but the way you made him feel, valued, seen, and cared for. This emotional withdrawal makes him reflect on the depth of your relationship and the things he may have taken for granted. The more meaningful your connection is, the more powerful the feeling of withdrawal will be. It's not about cutting off contact or playing hard to get. It's about allowing him to notice the void left behind when you're not around. That's what triggers the intense feelings of missing you, because he longs for the emotional bond that once filled that space. To really drive this home, think about those times when he's reminiscing about a heartfelt conversation you had, the moments of laughter you shared, or the way you supported him when he needed it the most. Those are the things that stay with him, even when you're not there. It's not the trivial, everyday interactions he misses, but the emotional depth and connection you brought into his life. When he thinks about those moments, the feelings of longing grow stronger because he realizes how much they meant to him. Creating that emotional impact isn't something you have to force. It happens naturally when you're genuinely supportive, emotionally present, and offer him understanding that goes beyond surface-level interaction. By being that person who provides him with comfort and emotional safety, you're already planting the seeds for him to miss you when you're not around. And the more authentic and meaningful those moments are, the deeper a sense of longing will be. It's also important to give him space to miss you. This doesn't mean pulling away suddenly or becoming distant, but simply allowing natural breaks in communication or time apart for him to reflect. When you're not constantly in his life, it gives him time to recognize what he's missing. And when that absence is filled with thoughts of the emotional bond you shared, that's when the true longing kicks in. He'll start missing you not because you've created artificial distance, but because you've created an emotional connection that he can't easily replace. At the end of the day, what makes a man miss you isn't just the time spent together. It's the emotional imprint you leave behind. When you're able to make him feel valued, understood, and connected, that's what stays with him. That's what he'll long for.